Hello, my name is Alan Abriha, and I've been currently or recently hired to teach PACE 111 for UMGC. I'm really looking forward to teaching my first course. Hopefully, I get assigned a course this coming spring semester. So I'm really looking forward to that. Just wanted to give you a little bit background about myself. So currently, I work at Leeward Community College as a disability specialist. I work with students who self-identify with a disability and are seeking classroom accommodations under ADA law. So I provide services such as extended time for exams and assignments, assistance with note taking, sign language interpreters, if that's also something that is being requested. And those are just kind of the more common things our office provides and um, services I provide for students. So that's what I do primarily as my full-time job. I do also teach courses at Leeward as a lecturer, and I also teach courses at Chaminade. And mainly, currently, I'm teaching mostly human development and child development courses. That's been kind of my wheelhouse for the last, I don't know, 5, 6 years. But I've also taught Psychology 101, um, career career psychology, and also grief or psychology of death and dying, as well as some education courses as well. Um, so a little bit further background, I am a graduate of Leeward Community College. Um, got my associates, started off here, and then I moved on to UH West Oahu to get my bachelor's in psychology. And then upon finishing my undergraduate studies, I entered the workforce right away. Got into social services, working with youth who are involved in family court, are receiving special education services through the DOE, and are also possibly, or were also possibly in the foster care system. So I worked as a case manager and then eventually became a mental health care coordinator for the state of Hawaii Department of Health, where I did pretty much the same thing, but just at a more involved level. I coordinated meetings, treatment meetings, contracted out services for the clients that I served, and also worked closely with Department of Human Services, social workers, and the Department of Education um, counselors and teachers, and attended a lot of IEP meetings as well. I also worked with adult mental health as direct service provider. I worked at crisis shelters, transition shelters, working with adults who are transitioning from prison back into the community or are battling homelessness and substance abuse. So that's been kind of my background, but my ultimate goal was always to work at the higher education kind of arena or higher education field. So I was able to do that eventually after I completed my graduate studies at Chaminade University. I went back to school to get my master's in counseling psychology, and that kind of helped me get to where I'm at today. Um, Previous jobs in higher ed, I've worked as an academic advisor at Chaminade University. I was also a college recruiter here at Leeward Community College, and eventually transitioned to my current position now, which is again a disability specialist for the Disability Services Office. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be teaching or have been hired to teach PACE 111 courses. I kind of see this course after reading the description. It's kind of similar to other courses I've taught at other colleges where we're basically teaching students how to do time management skills, how to take notes, how to basically learn how to become a student if you've been um, out of school for a while and are just returning to school, or also if you're just transitioning out of high school and haven't taken any college courses yet. These are the type of courses that kind of help you get acclimated to the services that your college provides in terms of support, learning services, and even disability services for that matter, if you are requiring accommodations for your courses. So in this class, we're going to be learning about each other, what our interests are, and hopefully through that, I can help guide you into making some kind of initial preliminary choices in the degree path that you want to pursue, right? So I haven't started teaching yet, but again, I'm hoping to teach a course hopefully this coming spring if everything goes well. And I do look forward to meeting the students that I'm going to be working with, as well as my colleagues who have been teaching here for a while now, learning from them. I feel like we can always learn from each other, even the students that we serve. You know, we all come from different walks of life, have different experiences. So I think it's always good to bring that to the table. And speaking of experiences, my hope, you know, is to be able to not only teach you what's required in the class, but also to be able to take what I've learned in my field, in my career path, and share that with you, and hopefully that just in case some of you might want to go into counseling or teaching, you know, college courses, or also be an academic advisor or academic counselor at the college level. If that's something that you're thinking of doing, hopefully I'll be able to pass on some of my knowledge in terms of, you know, where to get experience, what the interview process is like, what the job market is like in that field. As an instructor, I do encourage my students to, you know, if you're not understanding the content or you're having trouble, please communicate with me. Email me, call me. You know, if there's a way to communicate through Leo, you can also do it that way. I try to respond within 24 hours, if not sooner. You know, I always feel like keeping the lines of communication open is very important. The only way I can really support you if you're struggling as a student, whether it's personally or with the academics, the only way I can really help you is if I know what you're going through, what you're struggling with. So I would really encourage you to do that, not just with me, but for any other instructors you might have. And that also goes for if you're having trouble meeting a deadline, if there's a personal issue that came up with your family. I know a lot of you are working students, have full-time careers, and sometimes life just gets in the way, and you can't really help but you know, you have to choose between one thing or the other sometimes. I know we're going to talk about time management in this class and prioritizing, but there might be times where, you know, school might not be the first thing on your mind, and you end up having to, you know, ask for an extension or something like that, where you're not able to meet deadlines or you're not understanding the material. The best way to really address that is to keep in touch with your instructors, keep engaged. And that way we know that you're serious about the class, you're wanting to finish, you're wanting to do well, and you're not just, you know, when you disappear for a few days at a time, we don't hear from you. Sometimes, you know, different instructors will have different perceptions of that, right? They might think, oh, this person might have just dropped out or is not interested in the class anymore. So to keep us from making assumptions for you, I would really encourage you to stay in contact with us. You know, let us know what's going on if you're struggling with anything. And also, you know, forming study groups or support groups with your peers, with your classmates. That's something we'll definitely learn how to do in this class, and also something I always encourage, right? You might run into someone who's going through the same thing as you, and they might be able to offer you advice and you know, help you through what you're going through. All right, so that's all I have for myself. Again, I'm looking forward to teaching this course and meeting all of you very soon. Thank you.